So if you look at the back of any Karlo bottle, you're going to see a little logo that says VeggieCert, certified vegan. Why would you care whether our wine was certified vegan unless you're a vegan? Here's why: the taste. In the fining process, which is one of the areas where non-vegan products can be used, the fining process is where most of them get in to the bottle. And what happens in the fining process? It's basically after fermentation, when the tank is filled with lots of little suspended particulates, bits of skins and stems and so on, floating around, that we use time and gravity for all of that to settle to the bottom of the tank. But recently I had a rep in my office who was trying to sell us a product called isinglass. Isinglass is, believe it or not, made from the swim bladders from sturgeon fish. And I don't know whose idea it was, but hey, it works as a device to speed up the process of getting the suspended particulates out. Essentially, this powder made from the sturgeon fish is poured into the top of the tank, forms a kind of a glommy top to it. And if you've ever had a really badly made lemon meringue pie and you stick your fork on the top of the pie and the meringue sticks and you can pick the whole thing up, it's kind of sticky like that. But it coats the top of the tank and then sinks through it like a French press and picks up all the particulates, settles to the bottom. And according to this rep, over 80% of white wines made in Ontario use isinglass. And also kind of relevant is it can save us 8 months of time and gravity. 8 months, if you're in a wine business, is a lot of money. So money makes it easier, it gets the product to market sooner, that pays off significantly. We won't use it. We don't use it for several reasons. Sherry and I happen to be vegan ourselves, but we won't use it because it interferes with the experience when you taste the wine. And this is one thread you'll find in the tasting notes on almost all Karlo wines. The critics seem to talk about this a lot. They talk about how clean the fruit is. And I think the reason you're experiencing that is we don't have swim bladders from sturgeon fish poured into our wines. We don't have casein, or basically a milk powder, used. And if you happen to have an allergy to seafood or an allergy to dairy, you might want to know that that's in there. And we don't have anything but grapes. We're not using pig's blood or ox blood or egg whites or anything else. You're just getting grapes. So that might be reassuring whether you're vegan or not, and help explain why our wines are tasting so good. Also, if you're getting headaches, a lot of people come in and I view it as a challenge. If they say, oh no, I can't drink red wine, I get a headache. I can remember getting headaches from wines, and it took me a lot of study, but eventually I found that many wines actually use chemicals to arrest fermentation, and that would give me an instant headache. The other thing people are afraid of is sulfites in wine. So I'm going to cut away here to a graph that you might want to have a look at if you think that you have a problem with sulfites. I'm going to give a shout out to Madeleine Pouquet for this because she does a great job at Wine Folly. You might want to go to that site and check it out. But in this graph, you're going to see where red wine is way down at the bottom, and then on the way up you see candy and jam and soda water, that's one of my favorites, and packaged meats, and then even French fries are on there with a lot more sulfites than exist in a glass of red wine. And then, of course, way up in the 1,000-time range of what you would experience in a glass of red wine, you're going to see dried fruit. So if you had raisin bran for breakfast, chances are you were exposed to a heck of a lot more sulfites than you will experience in wines, where sulfites occur naturally on grapes that come in from the vineyard. And sometimes it helps preserve the wine as well. But sulfites might not be your problem. You might have an allergy to seafood, you might have an allergy to dairy, and those are things you might want to be aware of. So I hope that clarifies what's in the glass and why you might care about it, whether you're vegan or not.